I want to ask you. So we talked originally about you coming in here maybe 3 weeks ago,
Yes.
and you said at that time, Bill, I can't come in until today because there's so much going. What was going on?
Well,
this is. I've been dying to ask you this question because I thought we asked Jim like he's all these time ago, come on in. And he said no, I'm too busy. I'll come. So what exactly was going on?
So last week was kind of, I guess the week before last was kind of a bit of a perfect storm for us. We host the Children's Water Festival every summer. It's mostly organizations done by Peterborough Greenup. But the setup, while things are on the go and the teardown for us, it's a big commitment on the part of Park and Zoo staff. So the Water Festival actually ran for 3 days. I think they had close to 2,500 students, and I think I heard about 400 volunteers. I know the Park and Zoo staff were very busy and a big part of setting everything up and tearing it down and keeping things going while that was on the go. That same week, we're also in the middle of our final preparations for the Park and Zoo Fun Run, which
we were going to get to that too.
which happened on the following Saturday. So we actually ended up with 429 registered runners. We had to put together individualized race kits for every runner with a bib and a shirt and everything. So those evenings, we were packing race kits, and then we were handing out race kits early. So that whole week was rather active for staff at the Park and Zoo. And it just tends to be a busy time of year for us in general as we're trying to get everything up and running and ready for the summer season.
Sorry for interrupting. Activities like the Fun Run.
Yes.
Now, I understand it was a huge success.
Yes.
I heard there was people that were going to the zoo. They didn't know what this Fun Run was even going on, and they were just taken in with this. They just thought it was wonderful, right? And they were like that. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. Like maybe it wasn't advertised enough, or not, but people were coming in. I think there would have been more people if they had known. But
yeah, and that's one of our challenges. We are very active in social media, and the local newspapers have been wonderful about supporting us and providing coverage for our activities and that kind of stuff. But being a free admission park and zoo, we don't have a marketing group. We don't really have an advertising budget as such. So we need, when we're doing things like this, our only option is to try and get the word out kind of from a natural word of mouth or through social media, or like I say, the Examiner and Peterborough This Week have always been very good about sharing information for us. But paid advertising, it's just not.
It's not really, in the budget.
No.
And talking about activities, on June the 8th, there was a turtle walk.
Well, the Turtle Walk is an interesting thing. There's a series of them through the summer, and they had the June the 8th one start at the Park and Zoo, but it's actually not something that's organized by us. What we will do, however, is whenever there's an event like that, or the Peterborough Field Naturalists are doing something, or the Ontario Turtle Trauma Centre is doing something, Turtle Conservation Centre, we love to share their information. So the Turtle Walk people actually sent us all their promotional material, and we put it on our webpage and on our social media pages because we believe in what they're trying to do.
So do I.
Yeah.
I actually rescued a snapping turtle last weekend.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, off a back road.
Yeah.
Can I ask? We're talking about a lot of these events. What sort of ratio of events to sort of regular day to day is the zoo? Like, is it mostly events is your role, or is it more like regular maintenance with the occasional event?
I like my own job personally, or just staff in general.
Well, I mean, like I guess sort of the group. Like what is the initiative, right? Is it you have these X number of employees and they do this. Is most of the time, between the group of you working on these events and things like this, or is it mostly sort of just running the day to day?
I would say almost all of our time is spent on the day-to-day stuff. I'll clarify that a little bit. The fun run, for example, there's a committee of volunteers that do the organization of that. And I'm on that committee, and so most of that work happens after hours in the evenings, that kind of stuff, until it gets close to event day. On event day, we had a few extra staff in to try and help out, and the day before the event, we were putting out extra picnic tables and barricades and garbage cans and that kind of stuff. But for the most part, that event has been put together by the volunteers. One of the challenges we have at the Park and Zoo is we have a small staff. We have 9.5 staff. We have a part-time staff member. We have 4.5 animal care staff that take care of about 160 animals. They have to be taken care of every day of the year.
Yes.
So if you spread those 4.5 people over 7 days of the week, considering the fact that some of the animals get fed 4 times a day, every animal gets seen every day, every exhibit gets cleaned every day, all the dishes. Today, for example, we're also doing animal health, so every animal gets a checkup and an examination. So there'll be staff, in addition to their normal stuff today, that will be darting and sedating the yaks up in the yak exhibit. They'll get a full physical. They may trim their hooves, take blood work, preventative medication. The animal care staff tend to be really busy. That's a very full plate. Likewise, we have 2 people who work in the park, and they're responsible for clearing snow, building maintenance, pathway maintenance. This time of year it's a little different because we had a bunch of students to help us, but the staff have, just with the regular stuff, tend to have their plates very full. Some of the things like the water festival, they fall into our mandate for public education. And education is a very important part of what we do. Last year, I think we had about 1,100 students that came in for formal education programming.
And this time of year, you see school buses.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I think last Monday or Tuesday, we counted 12 school buses that showed up. We have every one of our education program slots in June is completely booked and has been booked for months. So the Water Festival is a really good fit for that. It talks about conservation, talks about water safety. There's a bunch of different avenues that they talk about there. So that's a really good fit and matches our own education programming. So to come back in full circle, almost all of our time is spent kind of with the regular day-to-day operation and maintenance.